Yeah guys, Spanner Monkey here. Second video. Now anyone who knows me, I'm a snap-on schlag, right, of course, but I do have a fondness for cheap tools sometimes, unless you're like my mate Paul, who only buys cheap tools, cheap tools. So at the moment, go to Lidl, pick up some things, Lidl in the middle, some things that are useful for your box. Always useful to have stuff in your box, stuff that you wear out, stuff that you muller, you know, stuff that sometimes you have a set and you go to find it and the bit you need is dead, the bit you need is missing, whatever else. Stuff that you can sometimes use once, throw away, right? Use once, kill it, throw it away. Use once for a particular job. Sometimes you buy it and it outlasts your more expensive stuff. Sometimes it just goes on forever. So some park size stuff you're very surprised at the quality at, you know. So at the quality of it. So here we are. So the first thing I've got, this was $9.99, right? 1/2 inch extendable ratchet. Okay, that's it. Feels nice and sturdy, of course, 1/2 inch ratchet, right? Mechanism is a bit agricultural, but what do you expect? It's a cheap ratchet, eh? And it extends. Let's just see a bit of use, you know. There's a bit of wobble in the joint there, but it's an extendable ratchet. They all do that, don't they? You know, a bit more advantage there, getting the engine bays on tensioners and things, you know. Nice big bar for stuff that's a bit tighty. And what's the length when it's extended? It's about 60 centimeters, give or take a few. So yeah, rubber handle, of course. That's it. Satin finish, imported for GB market by Lidl, Great Britain, of course. Next things I've got, these are $7.99 each, and there's 3 of them. There's a nut bolt extractor, there's a screw extractor set, and impact driver. So we'll start with the nut and bolt extractors. You know, that's it in the case as usual. Flip it open. Black, of course, right? Nice bit of oil on them, stop them rusting in transit. Got your nice cutouts there to grip the mullered fastener, what you're going to try and extract. This is on a 3/8 drive, so you've got, that's it, there you go. Get that on your rounded nut, that's it. Give it a spin, hopefully that'll bite into it and twist it out. So in this box here you have 8mm, 10mm, 13mm, 15mm. So enough sizes there, but it's not going to do your massive ones, but normally you can find other ways of getting those out, can't you, as we all know. Right, we've got this screw extractor set. Okay, again, drill a nice hole into your screw, that's it. Whack one of those in there and try and undo it anti-clockwise. So in here we've got M3, M6, M6, M8, M6, M11, M11 to M14, M14 to M18. Just, you know, smells new and nice and metally, and just like anyone knows, it smells like machined. So that's nice. You got the little handle. To be honest, if you're using the bigger one, right, if that's really stuck in there, you're really going to want something with a bit more purchase than this. You know, but here it is. And to be honest with you, I'd imagine this handle is going to see more service on my taps out my tap and die set than it is in the screw extractor. But these are always handy because, again, as I said at the start, this stuff gets you out of trouble, you know. And the thing is, these allow you to do a job nicely, you know, without causing too much collateral damage. So okay, what else have we got? We've got the third one, which is the impact driver. I do have one of these, but it's older than me. I think someone gave it to me when I was about 17, and it's had a hard life. So there you go, normal 2. Oh, crossy and flatty. Again, all nice coating of oil so it don't rust in the box. Stick that in there, whack it in and give it a good blow. But yeah, that's the impact driver. Nothing really too special there. It does also come with, those were the long bits, but you've also got some smaller, you've got PH2, PH3 and an SL8 and an SL10 in there. But that's exactly in the smaller sizes. What else have I got? Now, this cost me $3.99, and it's a little handsaw. Again, it comes with, you've got wood, plastic, wood, plastic, wood, plastic, wood, plastic times 4, and 2 metal blades, and it's got that little thumb screw there. We'll take a little metal blade and pop this in here, and nothing too special, that's it. But I bought this because for a little project I've got coming up, but I'm also gonna do it for a bit of old school 80s and 90s door card butchery. Yes, to fit bigger speakers. But does a nicer job than the power tools, you know. Well, I imagine some people have impeccable control over them, but that's that. Nothing too special. They're the blades it comes with. The metal ones are useful because sometimes you can get up onto the end of bolts that are stuck, nuts and stuff, and cut them where you can't get anything else in there. So they're always useful for that. That's got its uses. I also did get, and this was $7.99, which was very, very cheap, and I've used it just to test it out. And it's a 4-volt cordless soldering iron, and this I was intrigued by. I've got more soldering irons than you've had hot dinners, but I've got gas ones, electric ones, stations, ones with digital controls. I bought this because USB-C and cheap tools, and I wanted to see what it could do. I'm not going to demonstrate it here, but I've used it, so I'll talk about it. It comes with a little stand, the tip, which I've just screwed in. I've got a little fitting like an old bulb. Alright. You pop it on. Well, look at me, I've let it go flat, but you pop it on, LED turns red. When it's green, you're ready to solder. Again, sits in the stand like this. Comes with this USB cable, no charger, but comes with a USB cable and a little roll of solder. Now, I tried this out. I was doing a little repair on my Escort on the front indicators, and thin enough wiring, got nice and hot. What I did find was this solder melts fine with a lot of encouragement. Using old lead solder, which is now hard to get, it was brilliant. But for $7.99, right, this is okay for little jobs like the one I did on the Escort, right, when getting your main soldering iron out is not necessary. You know, this will get you a nice few joints. It give me about 20 minutes on and off before it went flat. Yeah, so it's about an hour to charge. That's it. I think maybe 80 minutes. I couldn't find it on the box, but yeah, I'd say stand, sponge, USB-C cable, little roll of solder. That's it. Yeah, again, you're not going to be doing major amounts of soldering with this. You're not going to be soldering massive thick cable with girthy cable with it, are you? No, you're going to be doing little repairs on looms and stuff like that with this. Nothing major. Again, lasted me about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah, enough for you to get a nice good few joints out of it. So yeah, I'll be interested in a longevity of this for $7.99, but you know, I just think, you know, these days something like this, USB-C battery in it, $7.99. So the last thing I'm going to show on this video is assortment of trim clips, $7.99. Now, anyone who's ever worked in a garage knows if you want a nice job, it's always good to have some of these lying about. So here we are. Nice big box, $7.99, and you've pretty much got every common type you'll find here. You know, you've got these, and even if they don't, you can make something that works. You know, screw that in to screw the screw in to push out the ends. You know, screw the screw in to push out the ends and make it grip in there. So there's plenty here. So it's going to take me a while to get through these, but you know, as you know, when you're moving trim, interior trim, underbody trim, panels, you know, especially these days, everything's got a splash guard underneath it, hasn't it? The thing is with these, you know, you can replace them when you break them, when you pull them off. When there's some missing, you can put new ones in there. It's very much self-explanatory. Again, these are my favourite, just under the engine bay or wherever. It'll just make you nice hoses and wiring looms and stuff, get them nice and tidy, and clip that into the little hole on the body. So we'll come back in a year's time, see how many of these I've got through. You've got big ones, you've got small ones. Always seems to be Volkswagen, Audi stuff I'm replacing loads of these on. And underneath you've got more. This box is quite good because it clips into 3 parts, you know. If this ever gets empty, it's a useful box to keep. So look at your variety in there. And the first one. So, trim clips. Not exciting to most people, but you know, people like me, a bit sad. They're good to have. What else did I pick up? I've got some hook and loop straps, but they're not very exciting. They're just to mount something on my carpet in my Escort. So one other thing I was gonna use first, but I haven't. I can't remember how much this one costs because I bought this one when I was buying bread, so I didn't go in to buy tools that day. There's this little wire stripper. It's not too bad. Flips open. Locks closed. You know, you've got the little blade at the end for stripping bigger cables, and then you've got your little cutouts there for your smaller wires. This is pretty much self-explanatory. I just got it as an addition to my plier ones, really. And for those of you who can't do it by eye, it's got the sizes on the side. So yeah, that's just me and my musings of what I picked up recently in Lidl. I'm sure I'll be back again at some point in the near future.